Well, it's clear that I have not learned my lesson after the firestorm in the comments section of my OnePlus 13 versus Galaxy S24 Ultra video, because here I am today dropping another battle video. Apparently having an opinion in 2025 is punishable by "this guy is paid by Samsung" type of accusation. Yeah, because clearly Samsung's secret weapon to tech world domination is me. But here's the thing though, I don't make these videos to tell you what to think. I make them to share my opinion to both those who agree and those who disagree. And also because I love those, healthy debates, the thoughtful ones, of course. But anyways, let's go ahead and give this another try. And let's do that this time by pitting these two top tier phones against each other. Now, let me warn you though, I've got some pretty controversial takes locked and loaded here, so buckle up. Let's go ahead and jump in. As always, let's go ahead and start off with design, and I want to preface this category with the same note from last video. There is no winner or loser in the design category because it is simply subjective. You will like what you like, and I'm gonna like what I like. Now, back to it. In terms of looks, they both look very premium, but in terms of feel, the 16 Pro Max here feels a tad bit more premium enhanced, but nothing truly significant here. The iPhone is an overall slightly more sizable device, but not by much though. There is a 10 to 15 gram difference, with the OnePlus being the slightly lighter one, and both have soft rounded corners, and both are easy to handle in hands. We do have a slider on the left side of the OnePlus here, along with volume rocker and power button on the right. The iPhone has the action button and volume rocker on the left side, and on the right side here we find the power button and the camera control button, although the location of this camera control button kind of puts the iPhone's ergonomics into question, right? Anyways, they both support USB-C 3.2, and on the back of each phone you have the camera modules. The iPhone kept it traditional or familiar as we are accustomed to seeing, while OnePlus kept it very bold. It's plastered on the back there. You really can't miss it. The iPhone is boasting a titanium frame with a few titanium-inspired colors, while the OnePlus boasts an aluminum frame with different colored textures on the glass back, and they look just amazing. My verdict on the design? Remember what I said, it is subjective, and with that in mind, I will give the design to the OnePlus 13 here. And I give it to the OnePlus here because of the looks. It's a beautiful phone. So because of the looks, the material used, and most importantly because of its overall ergonomics. Again, look at the camera control position. Personally, I don't think it's well placed. I mean, you run the risk of dropping your phone holding it like this. Anyways, moving on to displays here. They're both fantastic displays, but that said, the OnePlus took it a notch higher with its specs. It's a Quad HD Plus 120Hz Pro XDR display with peak brightness up to 4,500 nits, which by the way is more than twice the brightness level found on the iPhone here. And that's not all, as a matter of fact. It has a higher dimming level at 2,160 Hz PWM. I mentioned it last time, and it's also the first phone to score an A++ rating from DisplayMate. The iPhone, on the other hand, is pushing an LTPO Super Retina XDR display. It's also 120 Hz, and it peaks at 2,000 nits in terms of brightness. It doesn't have the same dimming level of PWM we found on the OnePlus. The PPI on the iPhone also is 460 versus the higher PPI on the OnePlus at 510. I do need to specify though that they are both super sharp and vibrant in terms of quality, so you won't notice much of a difference as far as PPI goes specifically. Although you might notice some content showing slightly better resolution on the OnePlus. It could be my eyes, but anyways, showing slightly different, slightly better. But at the same time, the contrast ratio is very well calibrated on the iPhone here. Now, before I give my verdict on the display, I need to specify that super high specs on displays do not literally translate into much better user experience. With that in mind, this here, as far as displays go, is almost a toss between these two, but still, I prefer the display on the OnePlus 13. Granted, I love the super skinny bezels on the iPhone here. The contrast ratio also is very well balanced, and the overall display is wider and flatter, which is what I prefer. But the OnePlus offers much more flexibility and adaptation. Now let's move on to performance. Under the hood here, the OnePlus 13 packs the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen chip. And by the way, before I forget, please do me a favor. Hit both the like and the subscribe button there. I truly appreciate that. But anyway, so Snapdragon 8 Elite comboed with up to 16 gigs of RAM, which is what I have. You have 16 gigs, but there is an option or a different config with 12 gigs of RAM. So as you would imagine, this thing is just a powerhouse. Multitasking, no problem. Gaming, it runs like butter. Need to edit videos? Hey, get at me. It will chew through any heavy tasks without breaking a sweat. The iPhone 16 Pro Max, on the other hand, features an A18 Pro chip, which is also a monster, right? Apple's silicon has always been, a step ahead, but this year, things are different. The Snapdragon 8 Elite is just on another level, especially when it comes down to multi-core. So you won't notice much on the, day-to-day tasks type of thing between the two phones, but in multi-core scenarios, as I mentioned, the OnePlus pulls ahead. Gaming is fantastic on either one, but if you are a performance junkie, the OnePlus is the way to go, as simple as that. So to keep it short, as far as performance goes, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to the OnePlus here. Now let's go ahead and move on to software. The OnePlus is running Oxygen 15, and that's sitting on Android 15. It's fast, it's clean, it's highly customizable also. Anywhere from advanced multitasking features to system level themes, right? It's built for users who like to tweak and personalize their devices, just like we've always known Android to be. We also have Gemini here, so plenty of AI stuff going here. Not as great as Gemini that we see on the Pixel phones, like the Pixel 9 Pro XL that I have here, but still pretty good. And speaking of AI, Apple Intelligence was a big disappointment, right, as far as AI goes on the iPhone here. Not because it's broken or that it doesn't work, but it has nothing particularly impressive. Right? That said, the iPhone is running iOS 18. It is intuitive and extremely fluid as always. Plus, Apple's ecosystem is just in another dimension, right? Their devices just integrate and play so seamlessly with each other. On top of that, Apple has a wide variety of optimized apps, and they promise way more updates than OnePlus. My verdict as far as software goes, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to the iPhone. Let's go ahead and move on to battery. This is a fun one. The OnePlus 13 here is boasting a whopping 6,000 milliamp hour battery. That's a massive battery for a phone that is lighter than this other one here. And charging speed can go as high as 100 watt with, specific chargers. Not all chargers will get it to 100 watt, but they can go up to that. Also, going from 0 to 100% would be under 40 minutes. Top that off with support for 50 watt wireless charging. Insane stuff. The iPhone has a 4,685 milliamp hour battery, so smaller battery, of course. It doesn't charge as fast either. We're looking at 27 watt wired, but it is optimized for longevity, right? Because the battery, despite being a smaller battery compared to this on a larger phone, it still is a very good battery, if you ask me. Now, as far as the verdict goes, there's no question there. The OnePlus 13 takes the battery. Now, let's go ahead and move on to cameras here. We have a 50 megapixel wide, a 50 megapixel ultra wide, and a 50 megapixel 3x telephoto lens on the OnePlus here. Shots are clean, vibrant, and detailed. The iPhone is pushing a 48 megapixel wide, a 12 megapixel telephoto, and a 48 megapixel ultra wide. Now, I'm gonna keep this part very short and sweet. As far as cameras go, the iPhone is gonna take this one. So verdict goes to the iPhone. Camera is pretty good on the OnePlus here, but as far as videos, for example, as far as videos go, nowhere near what you get out of the iPhone here. But for pictures and things like that, you could kind of, it's also subjective. Some people might like the way the OnePlus processes pictures, whereas on the iPhone here, you have things that lean towards more the natural color, the actual color of whatever the subject that you photographed is, and some people lean that way. So that's as far as cameras go. Now, some honorable mention features found first on the OnePlus 13 here include the IP69 rating. So it's IP68 and 69. The 16 gigs of RAM option, like I mentioned earlier, the price tag, of course, along with a few other things. On the iPhone, we found the camera control button, right? That's something that some people like and some people are not necessarily a fan. And we have the longer support, and clearly, of course, the Apple ecosystem and the iPhone's ability to hold its value. Now, with all of this said, which one should you choose? Well, at $900, the OnePlus 13 offers incredible value. You get flagship level specs for significantly less than most high-end phones. But here's the problem. How does that value stack up over time on the OnePlus, right? Mine here, my unit, is a 16 gigs of RAM. The phone dropped less than a month ago, or maybe a month ago, and right now it's already $100 off. Price, the price on the OnePlus is already dropping. Now, the 16 Pro Max is expensive, that's for sure, but it has legendary resale value. The ecosystem is top tier, and even though the OnePlus has better specs, the iPhone's specs are still top tier. The OnePlus 13 is perfect for those of you who are looking for cutting edge specs, amazing customization, all of that at great value for the money. It's bold, it's fast, it's practical. The iPhone 16 Pro Max, on the other hand, is the choice for those who prioritize seamless software, better camera, a steady ecosystem, premium quality, and just long-term investment, right? So there you have it. Make your decision based off of that. I'm certainly hoping that this video was informative. I'm hoping that I didn't offend many souls like I did with my previous video. Either way, if I did, please let's keep it civil. I will catch you in the comment section. We can get that back and forth going, as I love to do. And I'm also going to catch you in the next video. And before we move on, please do me a favor. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any of these videos that I drop. Make sure to share the video also. I'm going to catch you in the comment section, like I already mentioned. And I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.